On in Bojo, Mr. McLeod Mondaya, Mr. McLeod here, and today's lesson will be on VTI imperatives. So we're commanding people to use inanimate objects today. So we're just learning how to boss people around. So just a little bit of a refresher, what does VTI mean? So VTI is an acronym that means the V stands for verb or action. T stands for transitive, so something is receiving the action. I stands for inanimate, so an inanimate noun is receiving the action. So basically all that means someone is doing an action of to something and inanimate. So what are imperatives? Today's lesson, we'll be learning how to inflect our VTI words into both positive and negative commands. So imperative is just a command. It's just a way to boss people around. Imperatives, also known as commands, are authoritative orders. Essentially, commands are our way of bossing people around, like I've said. So positive commands are phrases like do, whatever the verb is. Negative commands are phrases like don't do the verb, don't verb, whatever. So we have to refresh on noun gender in Ojibwe. So as we've discussed noun genders in the past, Ojibwe organizes its nouns into two different categories, inanimate and animate. Today's lesson will be about commanding animate nouns to commit specific actions to inanimate nouns. So we're telling people to verb stuff. So, mijin is ispaktons means you eat the candy. You are the animate noun being commanded. Mijin is the action commanding the animate noun to eat something. Zispaktons is the inanimate noun the action is being directed to. So eat the candy. So that's where the action is being directed to. I is just a singular pronoun directing focus to a specific singular inanimate noun. For example, this particular candy. So Nishnaabemwin transitive verbs. Last lesson, we were introduced to VTI words in their singular command form, so verb it. We started with this form because from there to inflect the verbs, we just add the necessary prefixes and suffixes. Adding suffixes to our words is a form of morphology study where we adjust the word to change its meaning. So categories of VTI words. Our VTI words are sorted into 4 categories based on frequency among native speakers. So VTI ones have a short AN ending, un. VTI twos have a long OON ending. I know it says short, but it should say long. So that's an own ending. VTI threes have a short IN ending, in. And VTI fours have a long AAN ending, on, not a short there. So each type of VTI has its own suffix that command a variety of animate nouns. For example, you all, or us all. So VTI 1 and VTI 4 second person plural positive imperative suffixes. So we're going to be bossing around a group of people. And the VTI 1 words, the ones that end in AN, and the VTI 4s, the ones that end in AAN, have the same grammatical structure. And so that's what we're going to go over right now. So VTI 1, second person plural imperative. So we're taking that AN ending, and then N is grade, meaning that we're going to drop it for the suffix muk. So for example, we have this verb here, pkweb none. So we have our VTI ending right there, AN, and the N is grade. And so we're going to be commanding a group of people to catch something. So, because pkwebnun means catch it. So, you all catch the ball. So, how would we say you all catch the ball? So, if you said pkwebnamuk, so we just dropped that N sound for the muk, then you're correct. Pkwebnamuk e pkwakwed. You all catch the ball. So we can see here that just adding the muk changes from catch it to you all catch. Next one, you all catch the balls. So we're just going to be pluralizing the pronoun and the inanimate noun. So if you figured it out, it should be pkwebnamuk ne pkwakwadon. So we just pluralize the pronoun and the inanimate noun. Next, we're doing the Vti 4s with their double A ending. And again, their N is grade as well, so we're replacing that N sound with a muk. So how would we say you all have the ball? Like we're telling someone you have the ball. So if you said ya muk ipkwakwid, you're correct. Next one, you all have the balls. So we're commanding a group of people to have multiple balls. So I'll give you a second to try and formulate that. Formulate a guess. All right. So if you said Yamuk Nipkwakwadon, you're correct. Congratulations. Next, we're doing our VTI 2 and VTI 3s in second person plural commands. So those are the ones that have an OO ending and IN ending. So for our VTI 2, our OON ending, we're using pugdon, throw it. And this one, instead of adding replacing the N sound with a muk, we're just replacing the N sound with a K sound. So this is our ending, and then there's what we're going to replace there. So how would we command you all to throw the ball? How would we say you all throw the ball? I'll give you a second to take a guess. All right. So the answer is pugdok ipkwakwid. Pugdok ipkwakwid. So we replace that N sound with that K sound there. Next, how would we say you all throw the balls? So we're just pluralizing the pronoun and the inanimate noun. I'll give you a chance to guess that. All right. So if you said pugdok nip kwakwadon, you're correct. Congrats. Moving on to our VTI 3. Using the example nod in, which means fetch it. So we're going to say you all fetch the ball. How would we say that in Ojibwe? So if you'll notice, the gray is, the N is grayed here. So we're going to replace that with that green K sound. So if you want to take your guess, I'll wait a few seconds. All right. If you said nadik ipkwakwid, that's correct. So nadik ipkwakwid, you all fetch the ball. And the last one, we're just going to pluralize our inanimate noun. So you all fetch the balls. And so we're just going to pluralize our pronoun and our inanimate noun. So I'm going to give you some time to formulate your guess, and then we'll reveal the answer. All right, if you guessed nadik nip kwakwadon, you are correct. Awesome. Good job. All right, so now we're moving into our 2-to-1 pronoun command. So we're In this one, we're kind of leading a group. We're saying, let's all do this. So again, VTI 1 and 4s have the same grammatical structure for this. So our VTI 1s have an AN ending, and then we're just adding da to the end. So we have gnawab done, and it means look or watch it. So let's watch TV. So I'll give you a second to formulate your guess for that. All right. So if you said gnawabdan da im zina testchigan, you're correct. So we got gnawabdan da. See, we didn't drop anything. We just added that da to the end. And then we have our pronoun I zina testchigan. So that's our word for television. All right. So let's watch the games. I'll give you a few seconds to take a guess at that one. All right. So the answer here is gnawabdan da ne twageo nun. Gnawabdan da ne twageo nun. So that's twagez game, twageoin game, twageo nun games. All right, now we're moving on to our VTI 4s. We're using the verb don, swallow it. So we're saying let's swallow the food. So again, nothing to drop here. We're just adding da to the end. So, oops, dan da imijim. Let's swallow the food. All right, if we had some plural food to swallow, how would we say that now? So again, we're just going to use this phrase here, but we're going to pluralize the pronoun and the noun. So I'll give you a few seconds to take your guess. All right. So if you said dun da ne mijman, dun da ne mijman, you're correct. Awesome. Now VTI 2 and 3s, 2 to 1, so we're leading a group of people again. So again, we're going to be using pugdon as our verb, and the N has been grayed here. So we're going to replace that N sound with our suffix da. So our goal to translate here is let's throw the ball. I'll give you a few seconds to come up with your guess. All right. So if you said pugdo da ipaquaquid, good job. Now we're going to do the inanimate plural version. So let's throw the balls. So I'll give you a few seconds to guess that. All right. So let's go over that one. Pugdo da nip quaquadon. So we just pluralize the pronoun and pluralize the inanimate noun. Next one. So we have two examples that we're going to use. So for our VTI 3s, we're actually going to get rid of that IN sound and replace it with our DA sound. For one of them, when we use eat, and We're not going to do it for nod in because we would have a double D sound. And we don't really have those, so we're just going to have a nod D, and then we're going to replace that end sound with a da. Excuse me. So our goal translation for now on is let's eat the food. Let's eat the food. So we're going to use our verb mijin for that one and replace that in with the suffix. So I'll give you a few seconds to translate that in your head. All right. So the answer to that one is mij da imijim. So we got rid of that. We replaced the in sound with the da. Mij da imijim. Next one. Next translation. We're going to switch it up a bit to let's fetch the balls. So for this one here, we're just going to replace that N sound, that's gray, with our suffix da. So I'll give you a few seconds to formulate your guess. All right. So the answer is na di da ne quaquadon. So you'll notice we didn't get rid of that I sound because if we did, it would be na da instead of na di da. So we need that I sound to be a buffer between those two D sounds. So na di da ne quaquadon. Na di da ne quaquadon. Let's fetch the balls. All right, moving into negative imperative forms for VTI words. So just as in previous lessons, where when expressing the negative of for other verbs, VII and VAI, we would start negative and end negative. This means we would begin our phrases with some variation of the word gawin and end our sentence with a negative suffix. With VAI negative suffix or negative imperatives, we would follow this formula, and we will do this something similar with our VTI words. So again, we're going to hit two birds with one stone here with VTI 1 and 4. This is the second person singular one. Should have reversed those. Second person singular. So we're just bossing around a single person here. We're telling them not to do something. So we have gone, and then our VTI 1 with an AN ending. And then we're going to use the suffix gen. And I think that N should be grayed, just like this one is here, to show that we're getting rid of it. Or maybe not. All right. So our command is don't catch the ball. I believe this N is not supposed to be graved. So I'll give you a few seconds. All right. So correct answer is, yep. Gomp queb nun gen ip quaquid. So I should have blackened that N there. It's my bad. So gomp queb nun gen ip quaquid. Don't catch the ball. Next one here. So don't catch the ball. So we're going to pluralize the pronoun and the inanimate noun. I'll give you a few seconds to come up with your guess. All right. So the answer is Gon pqueb nun gen ne pquaquidon. Gon pqueb nun gen ne pquaquidon. Don't catch the balls. All right. So moving on to our VTI 4s. So we're not dropping anything. We're just doing the same thing as before. Just adding gen to the end and using gon as our first word. So something you might say to a dog or a baby, don't swallow the toy. And so how would you translate that? If you said Gon hin don gen and dum the wagon, you're correct. Gon don gen e dum the wagon. Next one, we're just pluralizing the word toy with toys. So how would we command someone to not swallow the toys? All right, let's take up the answer. So it's Gon and don gen ne dum the wog nun. Gon don gen ne dum the wog nun. So don't swallow the toys. Moving on to our VTI 2 and 3 words. So this time we are getting rid of that N sound. It's great, and we're replacing it with Ken. So our goal translation is don't throw the ball. So how would we tell someone don't throw the ball? I'll give you a second to formulate your translation. All right. So the translation for this one is Gon pug do ken ip quaquid. Gon pug do, no N, ken ip quaquid. So don't throw the ball. All right. So how do we say don't throw the balls to one person? So we're just pluralizing the pronoun and the inanimate noun. I'll give you a second to formulate your translation. All right. So don't throw the balls is Gon pug do ken nip quaquidon. Gon pug do ken nip quaquidon. So moving on to our VTI 3s. So this time we're getting rid of the IN endings in them for the negative suffix. So we're using nod in right now. So don't fetch the ball. How do we command someone not to fetch the ball? In Ojibwe, how do we say that? I'll give you a second. All right. So this is how we would say it. Gon nod ken ip quaquid. Gon nod ken ip quaquid. Moving on to the plural. So how do we pluralize this? The pronoun and the inanimate noun. All right, let's take up the answer right here. So gan nod ken nip kwakwadon. Gan nod ken nip kwakwadon. So don't fetch the balls. So moving on to our VTI 1 and 4's second person plural negative imperative commands. So we're bossing a group of people around again. So this time we're telling a group of people what not to do. So instead of using gen from before, we're using ge gun. And we're not going to drop that N sound. That's a mistake on my part. So how do we tell people, don't you all catch the ball? Don't you all catch the ball? All right. So if you said gan pqueb nange gun ip quaquid, awesome job. Moving on to the plural version here. Don't you all catch the balls? So I'll give you a second to come up with your translation. All right. So if you said gan pqueb nange gun ip quaquidon, good job. So pattern is pretty repetitive and simple. Same thing with our VTI 4s. So we're telling a group of people, maybe a group of dogs or a group of babies, not to swallow the toy. Maybe one of each. So how do we say, don't you all swallow the toy? I'll give you a second to come up with your translation. All right. So gan dan ge gun dam the wagan. Gan dan ge gun in dam the wagan. Don't you all swallow the toy? Now the plural version. Don't you all swallow the toys? So again, we're just going to pluralize the pronoun and the inanimate noun, and that should be your answer. All right. So the answer is gan and don ge gun and dum the wog none. Gan don ge gun ne dum the wog none. VTI 2s and 3s, second person plural, negative imperative suffixes. So bossing a group of people around still. So in this one, we're getting rid of our N sound there. So we're using our verb pugdon. So we'll get rid of that N sound for kegun. Kegun. So don't you all throw the ball? How would we say that? All right, let's take that up. So gan pugdo kegun ip quaquid. Gan pugdo kegun ip quaquid. Don't you all throw the ball? Next one, plural. Give you a few seconds to come up with that one. All right. So the answer is gan pugdo kegun nip quaquidon. Gan pugdo kegun nip quaquidon. Moving on to the VTI 4s, we're going to use the verb fetch it, nod in, and we're going to take out the in at the end and use kegun. So we're going to place that in with kegun because that's in gray right there. So how would you say, don't you all fetch the ball? All right. So the answer is Gan nod kegun ip quaquid. Gan nod kegun ip quaquid. Don't you all fetch the ball? Moving on to the plural version, the inanimate noun plural version. So don't you all fetch the balls? So we're just pluralizing the pronoun and the inanimate noun. So I'll give you a second to formulate your translation. All right. So the answer is Gan nod kegun nip quaquadon. Gan nod kegun nip quaquadon. All right. So now we're entering our last kind of command here. This is for the 2-to-1 person. And so that's like you're leading a group of people. You're like saying like, let's not do this. If someone had a bad idea and your response was, let's not do that. This is the kind of grammatical structure you'd use to express that. So for our VTI 1 and 4s, we're not going to get rid of our N sound, but we're going to use our suffix zda. Zda. And so our verb today is gnawab done. Gnawab done. So look or watch it. So let's try and I'll give you a second to formulate your translation for let's not watch TV. So you need to put in your verb into this formula here. And then you need your pronoun for inanimate and then the word for TV. All right. So if you said gan gnawab done zda im zina teshtigan. Good job. So that's gan gnawab done zda im zina teshtigan. Let's not watch TV. Let's go outside and do something. Next one, let's not watch the games. So we're doing a plural version here. So I'll give you a second to come up with yours. All right. So the answer is Gan gnawab dun zida ne twageonan. Gan gnawab dun zida ne twageonan. So let's not watch the games. Next one here. It's pretty much the same thing. We're just adding zda to the end of our verb. Not getting rid of anything. And the one we're using is swallow it. So let's lead a group in not swallowing the food. So how we say, let's not swallow the food. Give you a few seconds, come up with your guess. All right. So the translation is Gan and Don Zida Imijim. Gan dan zida emi jim. Next one, the plural version. So let's not swallow the foods. So how will we say that? Let's not swallow the foods. All right. So translation is Gan and dan zida ne mijman. Gan and dan zida ne mijman. Let's not swallow the foods. Maybe if you're at a buffet or something. Now VTI 2 and 3s. The last one to go through here. So this should be OON here. I'm sorry about that. And we're getting rid of that N sound with C-da. We're replacing N with C-da. So how will we say, let's not throw the ball? So you're going to start with this, then this part here without that, and then the ball. All right. So it's Gan pugdo si-da ipquaquid. Gan pugdo si-da ipquaquid. Let's not throw the ball. So plural version there, let's not throw the balls. How do we say that now? All right, so let's go over the answer. Gan pugdo si-da nip quaquidon. Gan pugdo si-da nip quaquidon. Let's not throw the balls. Last one, VTI 3s. So those that end in IN. So we're gonna replace that IN sound with si-da. So our translation here, let's not fetch the ball. How would we say that in Ojibwe? All right. So the answer is Gan nod si-da ip quaquid. Gan nod si-da ip quaquid. Let's not fetch the ball. Moving on to the plural one. Last one here. So let's not fetch the balls. So we're doing the plural version here. All right. So the answer for this one is Gan nod si-da nip quaquidon. Gan nod si-da nip quaquidon. So just a recap of what we went over today. So our VTI imperative forms bosses around 3 groups of people. A single person, that's the you. A group of people, the you all. And leading a group of people is the we inclusive. So we're saying let's all do this or let's all not do that. We use imperative suffixes to command specific groups of people. Our VTI 1 and 4s use the same imperative suffixes to command each group of people around. VTI 2s and 3s use the same imperative suffixes to command each group of people around as well. Inanimate noun plurality does not affect our VTI verb inflections. All right. Misae aja migoch basindwayeg. That's it for today. Thank you all for listening to me. So that's the lesson for today. Now we're going to go into the worksheet. All right. So we have to this first one here is match the Ojibwe to the correct English translations. So we got Shquandam Mun. So we need Shquandam Mun. So it looks like this word here, Shquandam, but it has an extra AN in there. So maybe we should look this word up in the dictionary first. So Shquandam means door, but that AN means doors. So what we're looking for here is the word doors. So we got a door here, but we need doors right here, H. Put H in there. Cross that out. All right. So it seems pretty straightforward. I'll leave you guys to do the rest of these on your own. All right. So what is the defining characteristic of VTI words? So this is VTI one words. All right. So using the NFN dictionary, providing a new example of a VTI one word and its English translation. So let's see here. If we go. All right. So VTI ones, they have a short AN ending. So we need a new word with a short AN ending. So you can go AN space VTI. We'll see what comes up here. There we go. Doc one, unlock something. Doc one. Doc one. Unlock something. There you go. Oops. So what is the defining characteristic? Sorry, I should probably put that in. All right. So defining characteristic of VTI one words. Are their short AN endings. So doc one has an AN ending and means unlock something. So same thing for VTI 2s. What's their defining characteristic? And what's an example from the dictionary that you can find? Same with VTI 3s and VTI 4s. I'll leave that for you guys to do on your own. All right, multiple choice. Wenamdang Gyakidwin Zinazganing. So match the word with the correct one here. So pugdone. Pugdone. If you don't remember what pugdone is, you can always look it up in the dictionary. Should remember it from our lesson though. I've said it about 1,000 times already. Let's see here. It's not popping up in the dictionary. Why is that? Oh, I guess I didn't put it in the dictionary here. So pugdone means throw it. All right, so let's throw it right there. All right, so you're just highlighting the answer there, and I'll leave the rest of these for you guys to do. So what's the difference between a transitive and intransitive? So let's see here. So transitive means something is receiving the action, and intransitive is the opposite. So nothing is receiving the action. So you can put that in here. Why do we learn our transitive verbs in the command form first? I think we went over that. Let's see here. All right, right there, the middle point there. It's just basically the smallest version of the word before we get into root words. Next, how do we inflect 2-to-1 person commands for all 4 types of VTI words? So the 2-to-1 command, that's the last ones we went over there. So when we're leading a group of people, how do we do that? What did we do for these? This. And the last 2. Blah and blah. So you can write the formulas for that one. How do you inflect second person plural commands for all types of VTI words? So that's the first ones we went over. So these ones here, and these ones here. So what did we do? All right. So which negative command paradigm commands which pronoun? So we have gone and then gen. So which one used gen? So let's consult our lesson here. We're going into the negatives. Oh, so we have gone and gen. So they commanded VTI 1 and 4s. VTI 1 and 4 with the U singular right there. So our answer is C. And cross it out. So that's how you do number 11 here. So we're not filling in anything here, or just over here at the end. All right. So look at the suffixes. So you want to pay attention to this G sound versus this K sound, and then this S sound versus this Z sound. So, all right. And then VTI 1s and 4s, VTI 2s and 3s, etc. All right. Akhenaten wasne ejajagna shimian. We're translating these into English. So you got yan, it, and dosin. Yan, it, and dosin. So yawn. If you don't remember what yawn is, you can always look it up in the dictionary. So yawn means have something. So commanding someone to have something. Ndo. So we got that n sound. That means like an I. That mine. So we're talking about something I own. So have, my, and then sin. Let's look up the word for sin. Let's see what that says. Sin. Just looking up. A lot of sin endings. There we go. Sin means rock. So you're just telling someone, have my rock. All right. So you're going to want to take notes or look at your notes from our last lesson on ownership and apply that to our lesson or your translations here. Some of them. This one you won't need it, but if you see a prefix in front there, you might need to add it. All right. All right. So Akhenaten wasne Nishnaabemwin. Translate these into Ojibwe. So let's swallow the food. So we're leading a group of people in this. So we need our paradigm here. So let's swallow the food. Oh, look at that. It's already done for you. So you just need your verb, don, and then da, and then pronoun and me, Jim. So don, da, me, Jim. If you didn't know the word for swallow, you can always look it up in the dictionary here. Yeah, so swallow. Dawn. All right. So that's it for this lesson today. Miigwech Basindoe Egmina. In the description, I'm going to leave the links to the dictionary, the worksheets in PDF or Microsoft, depending on what you prefer to fill out. And then also, too, I'm going to leave a link in the description to audio tracks for you guys to challenge yourselves to transcribe and translate on your own using your notes from today's lesson and the dictionary. Aha, miigwech and bama piko ab minim.